Wow. So, you take legacy against the new kid on the block, and you don't expect it to go quite like this.
I mean... Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And we are back with another double-blind head-to-head, which means we don't know what's in either one of these glasses, even though you do, because you already saw the thumbnail in the title. We've drawn these samples from our blind head-to-head pool full of bourbons and rye matchups that make a lot of sense to us for some reason or another. It could be something that's available versus allocated, expensive versus inexpensive, two shelf products that we want to see which one is the better buy. Could be almost anything in there, but we are going to taste it, let you know what we think about it, give it a rating. Then we're going to find out the price and see if that changes our rating and whether we would want to buy it or not before we find out what we're drinking. That's why we say the stuff about a real world consumer focused approach, because it really comes down to the price at the end of the day for us. Let's get into this comparison. Let's get glass number one on the nose.
All right. Right off the bat, I'm getting sweetness.
Yep. Sweetness. I'm getting a little bit of like Pop-Tartiness, like a fruity Pop-Tart note type of thing, but it's really faint.
Okay.
Like I'm searching for that, to be honest with you. It is very faint in the glass.
I'm just getting a lot of sweetness right now on the nose.
Yeah, sweetness. I could almost go to like a lemon Pop-Tart or like a banana. I know that's not a thing. Neither of those are things. But like this is like a bougie Pop-Tart at some fancy coffee shop or something like that. Let's get it on the palate.
Whoa. I don't know what to think right now.
Wow. That came through with more flavor than I expected.
Yeah, it's not as sweet as I expected, too. Based on the sweetness I was getting off of the nose. There's sweetness there. Yeah. But I got hit with spice up front.
Yeah, it's got a spicy undertone to it, which was a little surprising. It's, again, coming through faint, seemingly low proof. But what I'm getting off of this is what I got off the nose. Like, I don't know, I'm gravitating towards, like, this is like lemon poppy seed bagels or a thing.
I love lemon poppy seed muffins.
It doesn't... like this has like a little bit of like a citrusy vibe to it that is pleasant. It's I don't know what else to say. It doesn't seem complex. It doesn't seem robust. It doesn't seem like big or bold or concentrated. It doesn't look it either. Looks kind of weak sauce, but it tastes generally pleasant. Let's get another sip.
Okay. There's a little bit of a tea vibe here that I'm getting.
Like Lipton tea?
I don't know what you mean when you say that.
Like sweet tea, but not sweet.
No, I think some sweet tea.
Yeah, I could kind of see some tea vibes in this. I mean, I'm definitely getting a little bit of a citrus note, a little bit of a tea note, caramel, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of oak, but everything is kind of just really in proportion. It tastes like a bourbon.
Yeah, it's light, but everything's balanced. So nothing is coming across too faint, and the viscosity is good.
Yeah, good summertime sipper right there. That spice, by the way, died down on my second sip.
It stayed, but it was never strong to begin with. I just wasn't expecting it at all, so it took me by surprise. Yeah.
Let's get into glass two on the nose.
Oh, this smells even sweeter.
I'm getting next to nothing on this. It smells like I'm smelling an empty glass.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I could get a little bit of like confectionery sweetness on that. Like there's some fried dough in the mix now.
I'm getting like brown sugar.
Yeah, the Pop-Tart is no longer like a flat, like flaky pastry thing. Now it is puffed up into a little bit of like fried dough.
Oh, so we're talking like a donut?
Kinda, but again, you're smelling it. It's on the table over there, and you're smelling it from over here. So that's how faint it is. Both of these, really. Let's get this on the palate and see what we're working with.
This is pretty faint, but it's thinner than glass one, but the flavor matches the nose on this. I feel like I'm getting the same flavors that I'm smelling.
Yeah, I mean, this one right here is quite thin. The finish doesn't seem to be as good as glass one, but that's coming right off of glass one. But to me, this right here doesn't quite have that doughiness on the palate. It just kind of has that general sweetness. It's maybe a little bit more fruit forward than glass one, but everything is so faint that it's honestly really hard to pick up on.
It is a little bit more faint, I think. I'm getting oak on the second sip, a little more oak, and everything else is kind of falling away.
Okay, yeah, that second sip was definitely better for me. Never trust that first sip. I'm definitely getting much more of a sweetness now. Almost like in that candy sweetness vein. Like I say sweet tarts a lot on here.
You do.
But it's not.
Everything's a sweet tart.
It's not quite that, because sweet tarts have like a real concentrated, like almost pixie stick sweetness.
Is it like a sweet tart that's been soaked in water?
No, it's a little bit more, like it doesn't have that dustiness to it. It's a little bit more in the Sprees camp, where it's like a smooth, hard candy with no dust.
Okay, yeah.
But it's not...
It's a dust-free candy.
It's not as sweet as Sprees. It's like some knockoff version of that. It's kind of fruity sweet, has some vanilla to it, has some oak to it. The oak on both of these is laced in quite nicely, very pleasantly for seemingly fairly easy sippers. But yeah, they're coming through with some good sweetness on both accounts. This is going to be a fun one.
I do want to say that I feel like the spice or any heat on glass 2 was building for me at the end, like after I've taken a few sips, because I can feel it right here. It's a little warm.
Yeah, the finish got better after a second sip. The viscosity got better after a second sip. Everything on glass 2 got much better after a second sip for me. This is going to be a really interesting one to take some time. We're going to clear our palates, start with the second glass, go back to the first glass, compare them. We'll be right back. This actually got quite interesting after spending some time with them. What did you think?
So, from the get, I liked glass 1 over glass 2. Then I started to sip them more. I liked glass 2 over glass 1. I sipped a little more, and then I went back to my original. So, it was really hard.
So they flip-flop for you.
They flip-flop back and forth.
Back again.
Yeah. So, overall...
You prefer glass 1?
I prefer glass 1.
Slightly?
Slightly.
Okay.
I think glass 2 is softer, so I think like a little bit lighter in flavor and lighter in viscosity. So I think that kind of dinged it for me. But do you want me to give my ratings?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm giving glass 1 a thumbs up. I'm also giving glass 2 a thumbs up, with the caveat that I like glass 1 more.
What she said for me too.
Really?
Yeah.
We're the same.
Yeah. I think these both are good for what they are.
Yeah.
Like lower proof, fairly easy sippers, but not to the point of being boring.
Yeah.
I like them both. If the price is right, I would like to have a bottle of both of these. I do slightly prefer glass 1, although I never flipped. I never went to glass 2 as a favorite.
I did.
Glass 2 is good. It's fruity sweet.
Yeah.
It has the oak underpinnings and a little bit of like those caramel vanilla notes that are kind of anchoring the sweetness, which is really nice. It's nicely in balance. Glass 1 to me just was a little bit more rich, a little bit more syrupy.
I agree with all that, yep.
It seemed like it had a little bit more oak on it to me compared to glass 2. And I just thought it came across a little bit nicer overall, but we're talking like maybe a 5% margin of victory here.
Yeah, it was close. I wouldn't be mad if given a pour of either one of these.
Yeah, and if we did this 3 times, I might flip back and forth.
Right,
So we're going to check our key and see if this changes our feelings about either one of these glasses.
What do we got?
And then we'll find out what we're drinking. So in our pool, glass number 1 is 78, and glass number 2 is number 77.
Oh.
So the price on glass number 1?
$30.
Love it. Thumbs up. Staying.
Staying.
Glass number 2's price?
$25.
Dig it. Staying. Thumbs up as well.
Absolutely. For the price, these are good pours, especially for me, glass 1, because I feel like you get a really good amount of flavor for $30.
Yeah. We liked glass 1 better, both. So let's find out what glass number 2 is.
Number 77. Wild Turkey 101.
Glass 2 is Wild Turkey 101?
Number 77?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. What's glass number 1?
Wheel Horse Bourbon 101.
Whoa.
What is that? I've not heard of Wheel Horse before.
Wow.
I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, 77. I'm looking at that right.
Yeah. Yeah. So the reason this is a really interesting matchup is because when I tried Wheel Horse Bourbon, which is from Green River, and it is 101 proof, just like Wild Turkey 101, which is Wild Turkey 101 is a staple out there. Wheel Horse, I think, is 3 years old as its youngest age in the blend, and I think Wild Turkey 101's youngest age in the blend is 6 years old.
Wow.
And I remember trying Wheel Horse and thinking, wow, that reminds me a lot of Wild Turkey 101.
Interesting.
And now we're trying them here.
Yeah.
And definitely everything is coming through.
Yeah.
It is a little bit more citrusy, whereas the Wild Turkey leaned a little bit more like in the red fruit vein. Like I said, it was more of like a Pop-Tart. This was more like a lemon citrusy Pop-Tart, whereas this was a little bit more of like the classic turkey, red, the color red in a glass. Like
you didn't say that before.
It's cherry, but it's not cherry. It's like It's like a donut with some frosting on top of it. Man, that's really interesting. Okay, now you took some sips. What do you think now that you know what they are?
I've never heard of the wheelhouse before. The turkey's coming across sharp. This weird sip I just got, so I don't know.
Okay, now that I know it's turkey, I'm getting the cinnamon, which is what I was reading at first as a little bit of thinness and spice. But go ahead.
That's all I got.
Oh, okay. I need to take a sip of the wheelhorse. Yeah, it just has a little bit more of a concentrated sweetness. I think we talked off camera. We were definitely getting some like room temp sweet tea vibes off of this one right here.
Yeah.
So if you like sweet tea, if you like a bag of Lipton's and a little bit of sugar, then maybe check this out.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Wild Turkey 101, I definitely think you owe it to yourself to check this out.
Is it distributed in many markets?
I think it might be in a fair few markets.
Okay.
Don't go out of your way to get it. If you don't have this in your market, just buy Wild Turkey 101. I mean, you're getting a comparable experience here. We're, again, like I said, maybe a 5% difference.
I mean,
and we're splitting hairs.
I flip-flopped my favorites within a given 10-minute period.
Right. But I will say it is cool to see a newer...
Yeah.
Well, they're not new, but they're definitely not a legacy distillery like Wild Turkey. So to see them producing their own distillate and aging their own whiskey and able to put out a product that's this good at that age for that price,
It's impressive.
that's saying something.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So it's a bottle that you should check out if you're interested in what we said here. And if you like what we said here, then make sure you like the video and think about subscribing if you like this style of content, because this is what we do all the time, every week, week in, week out. We also once a month live stream, and we would love for you to join us for that. So hit that bell down there if you want to be notified when we're going live. Join us for a pour.
Yep, that's it for today. Be good to each other, and until next time,
Cheers.